Here's another question. Does that mean then that the code is actually run on the computer? Because I thought the code was run on the Micromouse itself. Or do you mean like compiling it'll cause problems?
So the code itself is run on, it's going to be run on the virtual machine. It's going to be hosted somewhere on somebody's computer. I don't know whose. And basically what you want to make sure is that, there's no compatibility issues between your program and the program that would have run on the virtual machine. Again, if you have a Linux-based distro, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. But if you have Windows, just, maybe try out the virtual machine. You can still get the basic idea. Like, you can still type the code itself on the Windows system and then test it here. You can't use those same files in another distribution. Otherwise, it's going to give you some weird errors. So if you want to just test out the code on your own computer and download the simulator on your own computer, that's fine. You can do that. There are instructions for how to do that on the GitHub page for the simulator if you want. It gives, yeah. So there's the instructions for Windows and there's the instructions for Mac. You just download Windows and unzip Windows.zip, or if you have a Mac or something, you do macOS.zip. And yeah, and then for that you wouldn't really need any virtual machine. It'll just be running on your computer. But just make sure that you don't copy and paste the program files between different operating systems.
Got it. So then there's another question. So if the code's running on the computer, does that mean it has some kind of network communication with the Micromouse during the event?
Network communication? Oh, no. Okay, so what happens is that the simulator itself, right, is going to take your program and it's going to build the files necessary to represent what's happening as a result of your program. So there's no, what did you say, network connection?
Okay, it goes back to what I was trying to ask before. In other words, you were saying that the code is running on your computer and that's why there would be compatibility problems. But if the code's running on your computer, you need some way of sending it to the Micromouse, right? Or is it just compiled on the computer and then uploaded to the device? That was my question. Is it running on the computer? Or is it compiled on the computer? Because those are not the same thing.
I know. So it's both compiled and ran on your computer, and the simulator
for the
runs,
simulator, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the simulator gives you a visual representation of what's happening when your code is running.
Oh, so then the compatibility issues you were talking about were with the simulator then, not with the code itself.
No, it's with the code. But I'm sorry, did you have another question?
No, I'm sorry. My dad's on a conference call in the same room, so that was him.
Okay. Well, let's just get started. I will answer those specific questions maybe a bit after the presentation, but okay.
Okay.
So I don't think I introduced myself in this recording. I'm Kay, Micromouse lead. Let's get started. Okay, so first of all, what we're gonna do in order to install the virtual machine is you want to head over to this website called www.virtualbox.org, and then you want to go, here's where you'll end up first. You want to go to the download section, and then you want to select in this location right here from the Windows hosts, the OS X hosts or Linux distributions, and Solaris hosts if you have a Solaris operating system. Usually this is not too common, given that Linux distros aren't even that common. So you'll probably be selecting from one of these two. And then if you go to and click on the Windows host, it'll download an executable file that you can run. And this will pretty much set up, the VirtualBox software and the defaults that are already on the executable. They should be fine to install on your computer. And also make sure to go to the VM VirtualBox extension pack because the simulator will actually require some things from here. I'm not quite sure why they require us to have like support for USB 2.0 devices. I don't think that's necessary, but you know, it is what it is. That's how the VM for the Micromouse competition was set up. So also go ahead and download this extension pack as well. Okay, so first of all, yeah, just launch the executable file. I'm not going to launch it because I already have VirtualBox installed and I already have the extension pack uploaded onto my VirtualBox software. Let me switch over. Oh, yeah. And also make sure to head over to the competition page at robotics.princeton.edu and go to the this section right here, the 2020 Virtual Micromouse Competition section. You want to scroll all the way down to where it says simulator and where it says here, a virtual machine has been developed, blah, blah, blah. The virtual machine is available here. You want to click on here and yeah, it can't preview the file. File is actually pretty big. It's 3.5 gigs. Here you want to click download it anyway. Again, I'm not downloading it. I already have all this downloaded. But yeah, you want to just click and download the OVA file. And what that's going to be is essentially that's a profile that you can import into VirtualBox and have a virtual machine instance up and running. So yeah, the download might take a bit of time there. Again, 3.5 gigabytes. I mean, unless you have 1 gig internet, then it might actually not be that bad. But I don't have 1 gig internet. I have 150 megabit internet. So
what do we use the extension for?
extension.
Like
oh,
from
right.
virtual.
That's just for compatibility with the virtual machine you're going to be downloading from Princeton.
Okay.
Close this. Okay. Okay, so if you want, you guys can do this right now. It's better to do it now than to do it later. So let me know if you guys have any problems setting up. I can wait, you know. This might have some hiccups. We might have some hiccups along the way, so.
Internet has been quite interesting for me today. It's gonna take a while.
Just out of curiosity, what operating systems are y'all running? I'm running Windows personally.
Yeah, I have Windows 10 Pro as well.
Okay.
Windows, yeah.
Dan? I assume Dan, you're
running Windows. I got a game.
I mean, is it possible for us to like download an emulator of Ubuntu or like something else?
That's what the virtual machine.
This is what, yeah, that's what the virtual machine does. It's basically
right.
a artificial instance of Ubuntu.
Okay. You didn't do this at the previous meetings, right?
Sorry?
You didn't do this at like any previous meetings, right?
No.
Because last Monday we talked about the competition in general.
Yeah, I didn't do this the previous meeting, so we're going over this meeting.
Okay.
And this slide is available on the IEEE Google Docs folder, which I'm not sure if you guys have access to that. I know Dan has access to it, but I don't think general members have access to that. So I'll upload the slides onto here as well.
You can just put like a Google Drive, like you make your own Google folder.
Yeah.
Since we have unlimited Google Drive size with a school account, so.
I can also like set up a link where you can whoever clicks it can like view the files but can't change them. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, these resources are available. And I will make them available if they're not already.
it's worst case. Just use GitHub.
Yeah. So have you guys installed VirtualBox yet? Or
Yeah.
okay. Are you like finished installing it and everything, or
I think so. I can try opening it.
okay?
I have it on my desktop. That should be a good sign.
Yeah. So go ahead, and if you have VirtualBox installed, go ahead and open up VirtualBox. I actually forgot to include this in my earlier.
Oh.
I actually forgot to include this part in the slide. So for the extension pack, in order for VirtualBox to recognize, did I just close it? Why did I close it? In order for VirtualBox to actually recognize the extension pack, let me switch over to the screen. So yeah, in order for VirtualBox to recognize the extension pack, you want to go to File. Let me just switch the display here as well. Let's see, change windows. Here, okay. So I think you guys should be able to see that there. You want to go and click on File. Go to, where is it? Preferences. And then you want to click on Extensions. You want to click Add. And you want to select go to whichever folder the extension pack was downloaded to, and select the extension pack. Again, I already have it downloaded, so I don't need to do that a second time. You just want to click OK, and then exit out of there.
Would you be fine with repeating that, like when we all have VirtualBox actually open?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you guys not have VirtualBox open yet?
I mean, it's like slow, kind of. I don't know about everybody else.
Okay. Maybe it's just setting up for the first time, then. Might be an issue.
We're also downloading the what's it called? The huge file off of the Micromouse website, virtual machine.
Yeah. Again, it's a bit sizable considering it's an entire virtual computer that you're downloading.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're not doing this off of like a phone, everything should be good.
Oh, I hope you're not doing it off phone. I can't even imagine that nightmare.
That'll be
I know
interesting.
there's ways to do it on Android. I don't think you can do it on iPhone unless you like really know what you're doing.
I'm scared of whoever can do this on an Android.
Oh my goodness. You'd have to root a lot of applications and oh no. Yeah, please do it on a laptop or a PC. Don't do it on your iPad either. Don't try to do it on your iPad. Actually, I don't think there's chips on the on phones or tablets that they're even capable of hosting virtual machines.
And if they are, then Apple should stay away from them.
I've seen people like have like a VM of Windows on Android. That's possible, but yeah.
But what about it?
No, I'm just thinking. I don't know the specs for iPhones.
I mean, I've seen a video of somebody installing. I mean, it wasn't technically a virtual machine; it was DOSBox, but still, somebody got Windows ME to run on a Wii. So I'm sure it's possible if you put your mind to it. It's just not recommended.
I mean, okay, there's one thing of them running different operating systems, and that could just be like through simply wiping the drives they already have on there with like Windows instances or whatever, they might not necessarily be running virtual machines, but just entirely different operating systems on the phone altogether.
Okay.
How you run virtual machines is that your processor itself has to be capable of running a different like instance. Like it can section off a piece of itself essentially and run a basically second computer almost. Intel calls it Hyper-V or hyper virtualization, or I think AMD calls it something similar. I'm not
Yeah,
too sure on
I
the
think
names.
ATX and Hyper-V or something like that.
Yeah. And what that basically means is this is located in your BIOS. Oh, right. Another important point. If you're not able to run the virtual machine once you have all your stuff set up, you might need to go into your BIOS and enable CPU virtualization. And I can help with that, but I will have to help with that after the meeting because that depends on what type of motherboard you have and your BIOS settings.
That's hella whack.
Yeah. I actually did not have virtualization enabled initially on this computer. That's why.
I believe
It's
most
running.
computers have it disabled by default.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does not-
VirtualBox. Wait, sorry,
sorry.
go on.
No, it's okay. What was your question?
No, I was just saying that I got 10 windows of VirtualBox to open.
Windows what?
Once.
I'm sorry, you got Windows to open on VirtualBox?
No, I was opening VirtualBox just like on its own, right?
Yeah.
And it was lagging, so 10 windows opened at once. It's kind of epic.
Okay. Don't click on it repeatedly. Just click on it once and wait for it to load.
Well, yeah. Wait, so with the extension pack,
Yes.
where would we have to go to add it? Just like add a machine, or
No. So where you have to go is you have to click on the Files tab, the File tab. Go to Preferences. Then go to Extensions. Click the blue square with like the addition symbol, the plus sign, and then go to wherever you downloaded the extension pack and click on the extension pack and click open.
Right.
Yeah. Again, I'm not gonna do it. I already have that installed.
I hope I'm not like super behind everybody else.
It's fine. This is why I made an entire separate meeting just for this process. Can be a bit complicated if this is your first time doing something like this.
I mean, wait, other than you, obviously, who else here is like not a newbie?
I think
knows what-
Dreesh, you've done this before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it in CompArc. Then I think you're running a virtual machine, or like you're using a different software to access. Remote
I mean,
desktop,
you use
right?
SSH. You don't use virtual machine.
It's not a virtual machine. You just like.
Oh, I mean, it's an
accessing.
SSH instance, but it's like you use a software that can.
Is it?
Is a bit similar, right?
No.
Okay, well, this is a bit more complicated because you have to specify like what operating system you're going to use and how many resources you're going to allocate.
Yeah, I kind of done this before for another club.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Okay.
Wait, Garcia also wait, yeah.
Which one? What the? What was that?
I was me laughing because you're just like
Is that embarrassing?
You're just stalking me in every single club.
Wait, I want to know what it is though, because I don't think we're in any other clubs together.
Computer programming. I mean, no, the security.
Oh, word. Oh
Okay,
yeah, I didn't install that.
I might be wrong. I'm sorry. Go on. Who was?
No, go on. I'm done.
Okay. So I might be wrong in that. Okay, maybe you will get the experience in some classes, but it's an important experience to have, you know, installing virtual machines. I think it's something pretty cool, you know. In case you ever don't want to use Windows for whatever reason, like you can test it out before like ruining your computer, ruining your computer.
And we're doing this just so we can like model our code with the Micromouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hardcore.
Yeah.
And then we just add the virtual machine as well, right? Like after we download it off of the Micromouse site.
Yeah. I'll go over how to do that because
Okay.
it's a bit of a different process than simply just clicking add here or clicking new.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know about everybody else. I have the extension there. So
Okay. Can I see your screen just to make sure everything's okay?
my screen, sure.
You gotta go to Discord.
Okay,
and-
I got you. Okay. Do you see my Discord? And yeah,
Okay, it's loading currently.
okay.
It's still loading. Okay.
See.
Should I? Okay, I'll end my stream temporarily in that case. Maybe that's an issue. By the way, what's everyone working on? Are you guys working on laptops or are you working on like actual desktop computers?
I have a desktop.
Okay.
Fortunately,
laptop.
I don't. Yeah, laptop gang.
Laptop gang. I was like that until last year. Or like, yeah, until last year.
Did you build your PC?
Yes, I did. It was my first time actually building my own PC. I had experience like helping out build other people's PCs, but never my own.
Interesting.
Cool. I built my PC too.
Nice.
I mean, I think I'm good. I don't know if you see anything, but like,
Yeah, I don't know. The stream isn't loading for you for some reason.
yeah, I've done what.
Oh. Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
By the way, Garish, you want me to? I can run over the slides real quick in case you missed anything.
Failed to open section for VirtualBox.
Is it just on installing VirtualBox or?
Yeah, I mean, if you already have VirtualBox, then you
Yeah,
just
I
wanna-
just followed until now. I just hit import, and it's like importing it into the application.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're importing the VM, right?
The OVA. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you need USB 2.0?
Did you download the extension pack?
Huh?
Hang on. Let me. So that's why I said, because Princeton set up their OVA really weirdly. So you need the extension pack to access the virtual machine. So what you want to do is you want to go to File, Preferences, and then click on Extensions. And you want to select the extension pack for your VirtualBox version. You can do it by clicking here, and then go to wherever you downloaded the extension, click on the extension, click Open, right, and then click OK.
Can
Wait, I don't
stu-
see anything changing.
Okay. Dan, you go first. You can share your screen.
uh,
When we're importing the VM, do we have to use expert mode to set anything up, or do we just?
No, the default should be fine.
Okay.
I did this. Is it extension?
Yeah. Now click on add pack,
Edit.
whatever it says there. Where did you download the extension pack?
Where would
Did you download the extension pack?
No, I don't think so. Probably
Okay.
not.
Well, you want to go to the download section for VirtualBox, and then you want to go to VirtualBox. Basically, if you see my screen, I should probably share here. Yeah, so if you see this section, you know, it's 6.1.4, 6.1.14 extension pack, and then this is basically supported on all platforms.
Got it.
Do you have VirtualBox 6.1.14, or are you running a different
Wait.
version?
You are correct. I think it's an older version.
Okay, so if it's an older version, I think.
Oh wait,
Oh,
it
are
is
you?
six. It is the newest one. It's not the newest one, but it's still somehow 1.14.
Oh. Well, I mean, if it's 1.14, then you should be fine. Yeah, just click install. Yep. You have to scroll. I don't know. I hate it whenever they have that.
That's a legal issue.
Yeah. Just to make sure you did it. Okay, so wait, before, okay. I was gonna say before you launch the VirtualBox, check to see if the extension pack is active.
Ah,
How do you install the extensions again?
How do you install? Okay, so you want to go to the download section on the VirtualBox
Mhm.
website, and then it's under VirtualBox 6.1.14 Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack, and then just click on all supported platforms. There are some older builds, so if you have an older version of VirtualBox, you might have to look that up. Let's say you have like 6.0 or 5.2. I think they have extension packs for those packs as well. Like here, for VirtualBox 6.0.24, there's an extension pack there. Here, you know, just download that and then run your virtual machine.
All right. Is it under Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack? The second heading? All
Yeah,
right.
but what version of VirtualBox do you have first?
I just installed it. So the latest one, 6.1.14.
Okay, yeah. Then yeah, you can just select this link right here on my screen.
All right.
So right now I'm just waiting for the VM to download. I'm probably gonna have to leave really
Okay.
soon. So anything else that you talk about, hopefully I'll get to watch it in the recording.
Yeah. Don't worry. This is still being recorded if OBS is working correctly. Here, I'll actually switch the scenes. Okay.
All right, cool. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in the future.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I'm not sure where I'll upload the recordings, but I will definitely make sure to have it linked in the chat in this category. So.
All right, thanks.
No problem. See ya. Okay. Adam, are you having any issues downloading, or have you already?
No, I had it installed already.
Okay, and you have the extension pack enabled?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Is the virtual machine from the Princeton website installed or downloaded?
No, not yet.
Okay. Then you can head on over to that. Wait. So, once you guys, you know what? No, I'll wait because everyone's still kind of catching up to there. Yeah, but this is the reason why I said we're not going to be doing any coding today, because the process of installing the virtual machine can take a bit of time in and of itself, especially if you know, if anyone has internet issues or their laptop isn't like an MSI or something. or they're not using a desktop computer. I'm glad everyone is using Windows, by the way, because like, I don't know what I would do if one of you were running a Mac system and ran into any issues. I might be a bit more problematic. Linux I can definitely help because I have a Linux distro dual booted onto my computer, so I wouldn't have any issues helping you if you had problems there.
Do Macs have problems with virtual machines?
No, but I'm just not familiar with Macs all that much.
Oh, okay.
So if you had any issues, I could help you still, but it'd be a bit more tricky. Potentially. I'm not sure.
I had another question, but this might be better suited for the end. I don't know, but do you know anything about like the internal Linux subsystem on Windows or the
Yeah,
programs like Cygwin or
WSL and MinW,
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
But
well-
would those work for this or no?
Okay, that's actually a good question. Are you asking like if you were to download a Linux-based a Linux the Linux version of the repository, that if it would work on the subsystem?
Well, basically, so I have experience compiling things with MSys before, which is like a Linux-based environment, and I've read about the Windows subsystem for Linux. I've never actually used it personally, but basically, my question was, if as an alternative to somebody, if they didn't want to or weren't able to download the virtual machine, could they do it in one of those systems instead?
Well, honestly, if you couldn't download it on the virtual machine, I would say, if you can download the virtual machine, I would just say, run, install a simulator on your own system, right? And then you can post like the code itself, like the main C++ files and whatnot, the header files, onto the GitHub page, and I could run your code to test it for you there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's not too much of an issue. I should also probably go over how to use GitHub in the future meeting, because it's a pretty useful thing to learn. If you already have GitHub experience or Git experience, that's perfect. You can use that when you're interviewing for a job. Say, I know how to use Git. They'll be like, whoa, this guy, he knows how to command line.
GitHub Desktop is pretty useful too.
Yeah. No, I was just like, I was just making fun of how like people find it impressive that you know how to use like the command line, or just Git bash. If you guys are familiar with that, they're like,
Yeah.
wow, this is all like a foreign language to us. I mean, obviously somebody experienced with that sort of thing is like, no, that's basic, but like, or to whoever you're like potentially interviewing with, they might not have as much experience with that, and they'll be looking for that. Hey, especially if it's for a beginner internship position, if you already know quite a bit of stuff on your own for the job, that saves them time teaching you how to do things. So. Okay, how's everybody so far? Where are we at?
3.3, 3.5 downloaded.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big file. How much is League? How many gigabytes does League take up on your storage? I think it's like 11 or something.
I don't know. I don't have League.
I think League takes much longer after like you play for a while.
Oh yeah, that's true. I saw some posts on Reddit about how League was taking up 90 gigabytes of storage on their computer. But that's mainly due to a log file issue. I think
There
that
are some
has
games that are actually that big though.
Oh yeah, like
Battlefront 2, I
COD.
think, is like that. Yeah, COD too.
Dude, I remember installing. I only wanted to play Warzone one time, and like for some reason it was making me like, no, you have to download the entire game and Warzone, and that took up 100 gigabytes on my PC. I'm like, bro, this is a little much. I don't think Warzone is that complicated. Yeah. I think the issue with the League was actually that people were leaving their clients on, so the log was just like growing gigantic because they left it on for like days on end without turning off their computer or something.
Interesting. I've heard of like there was a Final Fantasy game where they accidentally released it with every single language's video files in the game folder. So you had like 40 or 50 gigabytes worth of video cutscenes in other languages.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Like usually what those types of programs would do, they would look at whatever your language is on Steam and then just download that one, but no, it just downloaded all of them. And it was like 50 gigabytes over what it should have been.
Yeah. Anyone ever feel like just listening to Cloud in Korean or something? I do. Wait, Final Fantasy VII, right?
I'm not sure which one it was, but you could probably look it up.
Okay. If it's Final Fantasy VII, yeah, Cloud. If I'm remembering correctly, he's from that game. Dan, how's it going?
I just I was investigating for like how to actually code on that a bit.
Hold on, what?
The VirtualBox coding like the system bit.
Well, I mean, it's like the same as coding on anywhere, really. You're just typing.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out how like the whole like the system works, whatever it's called. What is it called?
You'll usually have the same shortcuts you do have on your home system, in case you're
Oh,
wondering.
I'm talking about like how it compiles and runs on the thing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right, I'm at 19% imported now.
The simulator actually automatically builds your files for you. I can show you guys that. Let me change the screen actually. So I'm gonna start up the virtual machine. Switch over.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you know the password for it? For the virtual machine?
Oh, it's Micromouse, lowercase.
Yeah. Why did I have to change it?
Hmm?
I was testing with like root admin or something.
Oh, I would not recommend using it from there.
No, I was testing it and I didn't know and it locked.
Okay.
Were you trying to break into the security?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
No?
You go into root admin? What are you trying to change?
You go to 3 security club meetings and you think you're a hacker.
I see no issue with that.
So what just happened?
Dan is messing around inside the simulator's command line. He's trying to access root files. Is it not?
Okay, every time I check the import status, the estimated time is longer. I know those are never accurate, but it's at 40% now, but it says 4 minutes related. Last time, or 4 minutes remaining. Last time I checked, it said 14%, 1 minute remaining. So who knows how long it'll actually take. But
Have you seen any activity on the switch?
Okay, so if you actually, so what I wanted to show you guys is that when you actually open the simulator itself, you'll see some options here on the side next to the maze selection and the mouse selection. If you click here, it'll show you, editing your mouse algorithm, your name, the directory it's located in. The build command here is a bit important. You have to make sure that these two files are here, the API and the main. And then you have to run it with this command right here. Python, why is this running in? Okay, no, that's just for, okay. You have to make sure it's running in this command, Python 3, Micromouse competition proxy, proxy.py, limit 2000. I think that's for setting how many moves you can take before the program just closes. And then, ./a.out, which is gonna be running the file generated by this build command. Surprised, do they not use makefiles? I don't know why they have this here. I would use the makefile. But it's whatever. Okay. It's automatic, so I don't care. You can also add new mouse algorithms this way. Browse the directory. It does this weird thing sometimes. If you click to browse the files while you're in the simulator, it doesn't open automatically. You have to first minimize it and then open it. No? Is that not how? Yeah, this is one of my gripes with the simulator. I don't know why it does this. Alright, I'll just close it for now because it's not being cooperative. What? Virtual machines. Honestly, I think this is just to make sure that, the code you wrote for your own machine runs fine here. It doesn't take up too many resources or whatever. But honestly, that shouldn't even be a problem because the code you guys are going to be writing isn't going to be anything crazy. It's not going to mess with the system that much. It's not going to take up that many resources. Yeah, the main reason why they have you run it on this virtual machine is so that, you can't take advantage of a more powerful computer to run your code faster. Otherwise, it's going to be incompatible on a weaker computer, or not as quick on a weaker computer. That's also another reason why they have you do this. Okay. It's still frozen. Why?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, so Girish and Dan, how are you guys doing so far?
I've got it running.
Okay, that's a good sign. Dan, what about you?
same. It's working pretty well for me.
Okay. Adam, has it finished installing and
81% import.
Oh my goodness. Internet struggles.
Happy 2020.
It's not the internet, it's the importing process in VirtualBox.
Oh, okay. So you guys are okay. Yeah, I was gonna go over that next. So you want to click on. Have I switched my screen? Wait, my screen turned off. Why? Okay.
That's why I asked. I thought you
Okay.
disconnected from the call.
So you want to go to, when you're on VirtualBox, you want to go to File, Import Appliance, and then go to wherever you downloaded the whatchamacallit, the OVA file. So I have it in my Micromouse folder. Where is it? Did I just, oh, it's in desktop, right? So I'm gonna go to Micromouse and then you click on OVA and then you click on Open. It's gonna select it. You go click Next. Yeah, all the defaults here are fine, and you want to click Import. It's gonna set up the VM. So you guys have already done that, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. That was actually my next slide. Okay. This is a really scuffed recording, I feel like. It's gonna turn out to be really scuffed, but it's a learning process. I haven't used OBS all too much before.
Is OBS still running?
Yeah, my OBS is still running in the background.
Okay.
Oh, what? Oh, sure, now you work. All right. What happens if I click that?
All right, it's imported for me.
Nice. Okay.
By the way, I looked up the Final Fantasy game I mentioned earlier. It's Final Fantasy 13 that did that.
Oh.
They had uncompressed audio for all the audio tracks. I think it was just Japanese and English, but because it was uncompressed, they took up like 20 gigabytes each. And so you could just delete whichever one you didn't want and save a whole bunch of space.
So yeah, I'm gonna run through the slides real quick just for the video. So yeah, in creating your VM instance, I'll share this on Discord as well. Okay, change. Okay, so in creating your VM instance, you want to go to File, Import Appliance. Want to choose, navigate to wherever you downloaded the OVA file, select that, and then default settings are fine. If they're not defaulted already, you just click Restore Defaults, or in case you accidentally change something, then click Import. And then you should see, this little Micromouse competition thing here with this little box next to it, and it's going to say powered off. You can select the instance and then double click it, or you can just click the start button right here and start the virtual machine. So let me just power off real quick, and I'll show how to do that. Okay. Oh. Okay, and then here, double click, it's going to power on. Once again, this is Ubuntu. It's an Ubuntu instance. Okay. Okay, so now that you're in the virtual machine, what you want to do is double click on the MMS file. It's located right there. That's gonna do is that's gonna start up the simulator, and you're gonna see some options there. These options are gonna be config. Under config, it's maze mouse. Under maze, you're gonna be able to select the various different example mazes that they've set up for you. You can even just have a blank maze if for whatever reason you want to use a blank maze. And you can actually also edit the colors of the maze itself. So let's say you don't want your maze to be black, you want it to be green for some reason. You can have it be green. I don't, because that looks very annoying to look at. You can change the color of the walls. You can even change the color of the Micromouse actually. So if you don't want it to be blue, you can have it be like red or something. So if you click build.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we don't actually see a screen.
Did I not switch over? Oh, I still didn't switch over. Okay, I'm managing. I should honestly just link OBS to Discord and then just stream through that. I'm streaming through like 2 things at once. Again, learning experience. So there we go. Yeah, so again, config options here. You have the different example mazes you can select, the different mice you can select. These aren't actually mice, these are just the programs you have set up. And then you can click the folder icon there. It's going to lag again, obviously. I want to just minimize and then reopen. Hopefully that puts it up. The struggles of Ubuntu VMs. Okay, there we go. All right, there's a selection. So you can go to wherever you upload, wherever you like constructed your maze, and select that template. So is this lagging? Please tell me it's not lagging. It is lagging. So painful. Again, this virtual machine has like very limited resources. I don't know why it's struggling to open folders, but it is.
Can you allocate more memory for it?
I don't think you're allowed to, actually,
Oh.
unfortunately.
More
Yeah,
video memory then? More video memory? Is that allowed?
You can't change any of the basic system settings. Because this is how they're going to run it at the competition. I don't know how this is going to work if it lags like this at the competition, but supposedly it's going to work. So I'm interested to see how that is. If it turns out to be too much of a trouble, like navigating through this stuff, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will have you guys allocate more RAM to this thing or a bit more processor power.
So we can just code on our machine and then...
Yeah, you can just code on your machine, then I'll do this annoying work for you guys. That sounds better, actually. You guys can do that as well. But yeah, in case you ever want to use the virtual machine yourself, this is for that.
Ow.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you start the algorithms homework?
Nope. I don't want to think about that right now, Garish.
All right.
No, but I will get to that eventually.
Okay, let me know when you do.
Okay. Why is there something like...
So some of the problems are like proofs, but the way he writes proofs are like really complicated.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know how you're going to approach them with the invariants and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, God. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. Okay. But the rest of it is good, though. So you shouldn't be like too stressed out about it. I
Okay.
think there's 2 proofs, and then like the rest of it is just like writing a recursion tree and stuff like that. So it's pretty basic.
Okay, so yeah, again, here's a slide showing all this information, you know, adjustable parameters, maze layout. You know, you can change the color, the wall color. I don't know why I said wall placement. I don't think you can change the wall placement from this button. You can change the algorithm you're going to be using. You can change the speed of the program, like not the actual speed, but like how fast it runs, you know, as a visual representation. Then you're going to have your active commands, build, run, pause and reset. And then there's also going to be a stats tab to keep track of your performance. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the important parts I want to get to. You want to make sure you read the README files under the various folders for like the important details. Let me go to that. I'll switch over. Okay, so the files I'm talking about are under Micromouse. Yeah, see, if you use the file system when you're not in the simulator, it works fine. But when you're in the simulator, it doesn't work. It's just like so slow. I don't know why. And then you want to head over to Documents. And then you can see the different README files under here. This is the basic guide for the overall simulator. This isn't specific to the competition. This is just for how the simulator works. So as you can see, the C++ methods are listed here. You know, maze width, maze height. This detects whether walls in front of you, walls to the right of you, walls left. And then this lets you move forward. This turns your bot. This does a point turn. By the way, this does not do a pivot turn. In case you don't know what that is, a point turn is when your robot turns in place in a certain direction. Pivot turn is when your robot moves as it turns along a certain pivot. Hence the names point and pivot turn. At least that's how I learned it. It might be, people might use different terms for that, but it's okay. So yeah, you turn right in place, you turn left in place. This is to set a wall. This is a clear wall. This is for setting the color. I think this is for setting the color of the tiles you pass by. I'm not too certain on that. This is for clearing the color of the tiles you pass by, and then this is for clearing all colors. Text is going to be like a visual representation of how, like, it's going to be laid out onto the floor of wherever your Micromouse passes by. So as if you like pass by a certain square, it's going to read like 1 after you pass by it or something. You can code your bot to do that. And then clear text, you know, this was going to just clear the text you pass over. And then clear all text is going to clear all the text across all squares. And then these are the reset options. I'll have to look more into these. I didn't read too much on the reset options there. Then the get stats. This is mainly going to be used by the simulator, not in your programs, not for your bots. An important README file I actually wanted to go over. So there's no time limit, so to say, as I was saying last week, I think, in this competition, because it's a virtual competition. And it's like a program, so it can run however fast it wants. But there is a total distance limit. So if you go to MMS competition proxy, the MMS competition proxy folder, and go to the README file there, you're going to see a bunch of text here. I'm not going to go over all that right now. If you want to go over it, feel free to. The main info you should pick up from this here are under the features section. It disables the proxy disables movement after you crash into a wall. So let's say if your Micromouse heads into a wall that's already set onto the maze, you know, your mouse will not be able to move, turn, or detect any walls afterwards, and until the mouse is, until it's reset to the start square. if any of these commands are called while crashed, the proxy will return crash under one of the tabs in the simulator instead of moving forward, instead of forwarding the command to the simulator. And yeah, so here's the very important detail. There is a move limit. So yeah, in order to, they wanted to like make it like an actual real life competition where instead of time constraints, there's total movement constraints. It says here, when the sum of the total effective distance and total turns exceed the move limit, the program will stop and you will not be able to run your bot any further. And this is important because if anyone here is familiar with Dijkstra's shortest path algorithm, yeah, you can't, don't try to use that. You're almost certainly going to hit the limit if you use that algorithm. It's a 256 cell maze. So you're going to have to move it to a lot of places in order to map out the entire thing. So we're not, that's one of the main reasons why we're not using Dijkstra's. Yeah, and then feature is enabled with this limit command here. And this allows the user to specify how many movements you could take. For the competition, they have a limit of 2,000. And your algorithm cannot call get stats. So, you know, your algorithm will have to keep track of the score on its own. The simulator actually has a get stats method, as I explained earlier, built in on its own, but you'll have to keep track of your own bot. You can't have the simulator do it for you. And then logging, if the user passes a file name with the out command line argument, the simulator will log the stats of the run to that file at the conclusion of the run. Okay. So yeah, again, move limit of 2,000. Don't use Dijkstra's or wall following. That's what the example command is. The example program in the simulator is, by the way. If you go to, oh, not here. If you go to documents, MMS CPP, you go to main.cpp, you're going to see a little file here. You know, they're going to include some basic C++ libraries, and they're going to include the API header file. And they're going to have a method here for logging your movements. You know, log, let's say running. API will set the color of your bot and then set the text or whatever. And then here's the basic wall follower algorithm, in case anyone was wondering. So if, you know, there is no wall to your left, you turn left.
It's not even distant?
Hmm?
It's just Boolean?
Yeah.
Sad.
So like the wall follower, essentially, if you could solve this maze with a wall follower algorithm, your bot would be guaranteed to reach the center if you did this. And you can run it endlessly. Obviously, it'll get out of the center and then continue going on forever. But yeah, so if, you know, there's no wall to your left, you turn left. Otherwise, you know, and then if you like turn left or didn't turn left, doesn't matter. If there's a wall in front of you, you turn right. And this is basically for dead ends. And then you move forward. So I thought this was a pretty interesting little thing. So if there's a wall to your left, you know, you're not, this statement, you're not going to turn left. You're just going to stick to that wall. Otherwise, you're going to turn left until you find a wall to your left.
Mm-hmm.
Then follow that. Don't use that. Don't use the sample program, please. I don't think I need to explain why that's not a good idea. Yeah. And obviously, there's a Python version of this under main.py. You're going to have something similar here. You know, you're going to import the API and then import the sys there, and then you have your main method, log, set color, set text, then wall follower, loop. And that's it. So that's pretty much it for the simulator side of things. We will get into a bit of coding next week, just messing around with the methods on like moving your bot in the simulator. I'll cover up some of the basics of flood fill as well. Like we're not gonna actually what do you call it? We're not gonna do the entire thing next week, so don't worry. I'm not gonna make you guys code the entire flood fill algorithm in one meeting. That sounds like too much. Especially if you don't know much about stacks. Yeah. Change the video tab over to the slides again. OBS, please cooperate. Okay. So yeah. Another important note. Your virtual machine takes up system resources. So you always want to make sure you're powering off your virtual machine when you're done using it. So, you know, head over to your virtual machine and go over to the power icon, then select power off. I don't think I need to include that here, but just to make it super obvious. That's where the Ubuntu power off thing is. Yeah, and then just turn off the simulator, and that's it. You have now learned how to use the virtual machine. You're now ready to like mess around if you want on your own time with the simulator on the virtual machine. Okay, so I'm gonna leave on the recording here, and I'll answer any questions you guys have or any issues you guys had in using this, so that whoever's watching the recording, if they had similar issues, they can pick up something from this. Obviously, for those of you watching the recording as well, you can DM me on Discord if you have any questions about this process. I'm usually free I'm usually on Discord most of the time. I'll let you know when I can help you, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, so any questions? This overall process.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Anything? You guys are good for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Maybe I just did that good of a presentation that you guys just don't have any questions. Wow.
I mean, until next meeting at least.
Yeah. So no questions about like, you know, what stuff you need to read over or things to keep in mind. Anything.
Wait, we have reading?
Well, I mean, you should read some of the details on the simulator itself and on the competition page.
Oh, it's on. All right.
What are some of the incompatibilities without the virtual machine? You said you were going to touch on that at the end.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, what was the question you had again?
Basically, like, in other words, what I don't understand is either you got the code running on the Micromouse or you got the code running on the computer. If the code's running on the Micromouse, then where you compile it should not matter. If the code is running on the computer, then you would need some kind of like network communication or wired, which from the videos I've seen, there is no wire connecting to it. So.
Oh yeah, no, there isn't. Okay, the simulator is like just a piece of software. It's not like a separate machine altogether. It's still using your computer to build the program. Right. And as you were saying, yes, you know, the text of the code itself, it will not have any issues, but the specific files within the code, you know, you want to make sure you build that on the specific operating system you're running and keep those things separate.
Wait a second. So you're saying the Micromouse itself runs a Linux, and so you need to compile it on a Linux, or else it's not going to run.
Well, no, you can install a separate simulator for Windows, and it'll run fine on Windows.
Right, but on the actual, like, I'm talking about the physical Micromouse, it would not run correctly.
There's no. I'm sorry. What do you mean by? the physical?
Like at an actual event, or is
Oh,
this?
okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
in a physical competition, your program will be actually uploaded to a microcontroller. And that's
Right. But
in
if it gets uploaded to a microcontroller, then it doesn't matter where it's developed on, right?
yeah, because for the microcontroller, we're going to be using the Arduino IDE to compile the files onto the microcontroller.
Okay. So it's a different programming environment for the simulator than for the physical device.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. That's what I didn't understand before.
Okay. Yeah, so for the for the actual physical bot, which we will hopefully get to do this year or work on. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. I should mention I will try to bring home some parts from the lab. Maybe do some live streams or stream myself like working on the physical components itself, just to give a visual representation of what it would be like to actually work on the different motors we have and the different sensors we have and how those things work. I will figure that out. But for that, I'll have to talk with the ECE department to see whether they'll let us into the place where the lab is. That's in the electrical engineering building, the basement. Yeah. That I think Vex is also gonna. Or I think they have already contacted ECE for that. So I'll get the details sorted out with them as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You know, it's a completely different experience when you actually are working with the bot. It's more fun than just, oh, you write a simple program and you just tell it to run on a simulator like this. Like, this is cool in its own way, don't get me wrong, but like, it's so much cooler in person. Yeah. So yeah, any other questions? It can be about the physical bot itself or details about the physical competition. Virtual, physical, doesn't matter.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Well, I hope this was a useful meeting, productive meeting, hopefully, for you guys. Next time we will pick up with coding in a little bit in C++. Don't worry, it's not anything crazy. I'm just gonna make you guys like, how to tell your bot to like use the commands that are already on the simulator and all that stuff. We'll go over the basics, like what's a header file and what what you should be using in terms of C++ libraries, as like, if you wanted any helpful commands that you want to import, all that fun stuff. I'll go over that.
I have a question.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Thank you.
So, is there any like error in how it turns?
Is there any error in how it turns?
Meaning, does it do like perfect 90-degree turns every time, or do you have to do like PID?
No, this is a VirtualBot. You don't need PID for this. They specified like your bot will move perfectly each time.
Okay.
It will sense the walls without fail, as long as you make sure to actually run the command.
Oh, that makes things a lot easier then, doesn't it?
This is why I was saying this isn't really that exciting because everything's perfect and you could literally just copy and paste a simple flood fill algorithm and modify it for this competition, like off the internet, because it's already, the code for this is already there, like online as well. That's also one of the issues I see with this competition. Like, how are they exactly going to grade this if like 10 teams or something have the same result? Obviously, that probably won't happen, but in case that does happen.
Yeah.
Well,
It'd be cool if they.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was gonna say it would be cool if they had like I know I've seen First Robotics, if you know what that is. They have a virtual simulator. They've been working on it for the past couple of years, I think. But what you can do with that is you can actually upload the full CAD files for what your robot looks like into that simulator, and then they have some kind of code simulator where you can actually attach the motors in the CAD file to the motor devices in the code, and then simulate running your robot like in a virtual environment as though you were actually driving it in real life. But like it's actually, so rather than just the programming end of it, you actually have I get to Micromouse, there's not much design work outside of, you know, just the board, and I guess you get to decide, you know, the exact size and that kind of thing. But it would still be cool if you got to actually, you know, do the circuit board design and all the other stuff you would normally do, but you just upload the file as well as the code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be cool. I heard of Vex actually, the other division. They actually have a meeting going on right now.
Yeah.
They're doing, you know, importing like the designs of their robot on online, and they have a simulator for that stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Girish, you were gonna say something?
Sorry?
I was talking to Girish. No? Okay. All right. Well, if you guys are all set, then that's the end of the meeting. Hope it was useful, productive. And we're gonna have the meeting the same time next week, 8 to 9. We went a little over this time. We went to 9:25, so I won't keep you guys any longer. Yeah, see you later, guys.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.